Hey, welcome to Black Amethyst Oracle. This is Carmen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be doing 4 readings. I want to look into connections and what they are inspiring. The inspiration that you can take with you, regardless of the outcome of any situation or relationship, what meeting a person has inspired within you. Okay? So you may actually be able to use any number of these, maybe all 4, for different people, different situations. That's up to you. One thing that I am trying out today is I'm doing 4 because I'm doing the 4 elements. And you can choose any way you like, but I'm just giving you a little more information so you can feel it out, right? So I've pulled the aces from the Witch's Tarot, and representing each suit, a stone that matches the element. Ace of Wands here is carnelian, that's fire. Ace of Cups, lepidolite, water. Ace of Swords, celestite, that's air. And Ace of Coins or Pentacles is this hematoid quartz, that's your earth. So if an element feels relevant to your connection, maybe use that. If you just like a particular stone or the image on a card, you can go with that. Whatever you feel. If you are into, placements of astrology based on these, fire, water, air, earth elements, any way you would like to use that, it's all up to you. And I just hope that you find messages that resonate with you and that feel connected, through what I'm bringing. So I'll open each reading with a couple oracles that I have already pulled and just sort of have a quick chat about the vibe of the essence of the connection. And then we'll get into tarot. I have a different deck for each group. I'll list those in the description box below if that is also something that you use to decide. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks a lot for listening and for being here. And please do let me know how it goes for you. See you soon. Hello to group 1. You chose this carnelian, or perhaps you chose the Ace of Wands or the Suit of Wands, or perhaps you chose fire or the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. These are the oracle cards that I got for you, the Seed and Butterfly. So without spending a whole ton of time here at this phase, I would just like to say that what I'm feeling here is this is a connection that has not come without challenges. You know what I mean? Like, on one hand, I was going to say didn't come easy, but I think it may have come very easy. I think there may have been an element of soul recognition upon finding this person, because in the seed is the origin and the beginning, and like something that was predestined, if you believe in that, something that was coded to happen. So there's definitely this feeling of just an attractive frequency that brought you and this person together, that was meant to happen for you, probably for both of you, right? So it depends on your level of belief around destiny and fate and those sorts of things, but there's definitely a vibe of this being a super important and significant major connection in your lifetime that has definitely shown up to bring up some of the more challenging parts of your existence, of your your emotions, and like learning your heart, learning the labyrinth inside your heart, and finding your way through that toward like what it is your purpose may actually be. So I really feel this connection here has a lot of influence on you know, your own journey in back to self. So regardless of the outcome in the physical world, in the 3D world, no matter what happens, you've come across this person, and you've had a lot of feelings come up, and you've had memories of who you are resurface, possibly visions of who you are meant to be. So the butterfly, also speaking of this change, you know, this transformation, metamorphosis, like going through this process, this of being one creature to the next, like really a full body experience, a full spiritual rebirth, really. Really a lot of energy here that you can't avoid, a lot of emotions that feel extremely deep and kind of ancient in a way, maybe. There's an element of, you know, how uncomfortable and challenging it is to grow and to change here. And so that just speaks of like a connection that has not been or will not be without trial and without maybe many moments of discomfort and longing and yearning, because it's your soul's calling out for what this person is bringing to you. Like you need it and you want it, and you know deep down inside that what this person has like helped you to feel or confront is something that is very necessary for your own growth. So this is a big one, and I don't really know. I haven't looked at the others yet. I don't know what they'll be like, but if this is any indication, I'm in for a pretty heavy day. But I want to get into the reading now. So yeah, this feels like a very significant, heavy, meant to be connection. Something that is powerful enough to inspire your change and growth in ways that other connections can't really compete with. All right. My goodness. My palms are sweaty. I mean, they're not always sweaty. I feel, I just was thinking about like earthquakes and trembling, you know, and I just feel just great movement, like plates of the planet movement, shifts, giant shifts that alter the surface of the reality of everything. This is deep. All right. So for group two, carnelian, fire energy. Talk to me about this connection. Ten of Wands. Oh, excuse me. Page of Swords. So this is definitely a heavy one, and definitely one that has triggered a lot of mental activity and curiosity. A lot of wanting to understand what it is, a lot of, you know, questioning the ability to carry it, the ability to handle it all the time, the ability to be accountable, and yet this sort of underlying pull to a commitment, like this like do you see how the figures on these cards are, this one's walking away from this, my view, and carrying all this stuff, and this one is sort of turned away but turning back. I just get the feeling with these two that there's a deal of leaving. There's leaving, you know, like there's leaving but never, there's leaving and taking a lot of it with you, and there's leaving and looking back, you know. So this person may have left and taken a part of your heart. This person may have left but still be looking back, or you may have done these things. Speak to me more about this. Hermit. Yeah. Definitely moments and times and pauses and periods of solitude involved here, a lot of reflection, a lot of soul searching. Seeking the truth here of the matter, knowing it's major, and wanting to understand the self better and come from a more pure, honest, true place within, a purified place. Wanting to compartmentalize the confusion inside, if that makes sense. Like to it's so much, and it's a lot, and there's so much, so many layers here in this connection, that one or both of you has to, or probably both, has to really just sort of go within and lay it out and separate it into its parts and try to understand it. Like, if you can imagine just like taking an engine apart. I don't know anything about engines, and if I was taking it apart, I would be trying to like remember how everything went back together, but at the same time, like, just try to understand along the way what everything does, like to learn from these parts, to learn what they do, not just like take a mental photograph, you know, and hope I can put it back together again. To actually like take it apart, understand the meaning, like the purpose of each piece, and try to remember where it goes, and then separate all the parts and lay them all out and look at them and understand how they work together, and try, and there, I feel there's this intention and this hope to be able to put it back together cleaner, with a better understanding. And Page of Cups. So there's another page. So as heavy as this connection is, and might have felt or will feel, or whatever tense we're in, as heavy as that is, you've got these two pages, which is just such a more of an indication of you both really just despite everything you know and your depth of character and your mentality, all of that, there's still something about this connection that puts you in the position of wonderment and curiosity, and it makes you the student again, you know, like it makes you naive in ways that you weren't necessarily feeling before. It makes you return to your own youthful inner vibe, your own inner child, probably. Like it makes you really look back at what this person has been giving you, teaching you, and look into who you are and look into what you need. So can I have more information about the way this connection for number 1, carnelian? Did I call it number 2 earlier? I don't know. But if I did, when I was thinking of that and I was thinking, did I call it number 2? And I got a 2 of Wands feeling. You know, we're dealing with an Ace of Wands card here for your choice, but I did, when I was like, did I accidentally call it a 2 earlier? Did I call you group 2? I don't know if I did or not, but I just got like a real strong like 2 of Wands feeling, which tells me that, you know, there's definitely an element of somebody here, possibly both people, not knowing what they necessarily want to do. Like there's a decision at hand with the 2 of Wands, and there's this quest to know what path to take, right? So what is this connection, this carnelian fire connection, inspiring in our number 1 people? Okay, there's the learning through working together, learning through the connection and the experience of exchanging with each other. Like this 3 of Pentacles is collaborative energy. So it's just, there's something in your exchanges and the way you two work together, the way your connection kind of like weaves understanding. Like I just got a feeling of like you two being able to like almost speak your own language, like really have the same sense of humor, like really get each other, really communicate in a way that is like interesting. You're interested in what each other has to say and thinks and feels, and there's this just building on that, this inspired energy to show up and to do the work to put into this, and to put it into your own self. That takes me back to that pearl. And the Magician. You find in this connection the inspiration to really manifest, you know, to manifest anything you can imagine, to bring into being the, you know, all of your power, and to share that with this person. This card is incredible. She's got this infinity symbol above her head and all this energy flowing down through her hands from it. And it's just this very powerful feeling of being connected to source and being able to deliver the work of source through your own being here. This particular connection seems to be inspiring or have inspired in you the you know, the connectedness to spirit that will further inspire you to make things happen and to produce results and just really like bring all of this, you know, the magician has all these elements, and like to bring it all together, to bring your life together, to bring other people together. Like there's a real strong feeling of like oneness and wholeness that is inspired by a sense of connectedness, that this connectedness to source that this romantic connection has instigated in you. The Chariot, really wanting to overcome obstacles and move through the unknown into, you know, getting to a place that feels right, getting maybe back to a place that feels like home. It feels like a desire to reconnect at any place along the road with this person, regardless of, you know, how things have gone or are going. Like this sort of never-ending connectedness, like meeting again and again and again, like maybe through past lives, maybe like again and again kind of vibe. So there's this feeling for you of really wanting to just go into the unknown, like go into the expanse of existence to find what feels like, what makes you feel invigorated, what makes you feel like you've done something with your life. The Moon. You have a lot of majors on the table, which again speaks to the real the crux of importance in this connection. You know, this Moon is again like cutting through the confusion. It reminds me of this hermit here, where there's this inspiration to go into your dreams and go into your wildest imagination and your thoughts and your feelings and your deep in your heart, and explore, you know, all of the possibilities of, you know, what could be, what could happen, and to access your own intuition to know the way, to find the way, and an amount of trust in the fact that illumination will come again and again and again, and darkness will come again and again and again, and you know, you'll adjust, your vision will adjust, your intuition will adjust, and you'll be able to see in the darkness even more. You'll be able to see into your own shadow better. You're inspired to take advantage of the illumination that you do receive, and the light that you are you know, in those times when it is clear to you, when you have clarity, you want to like grasp it, because you know those are you know, windows of opportunity to learn you know, who you are and what you need, what you want, and what is, you know, what will be fulfilling for you. More inspiration for the carnelian. Number 1, people. This is the 7 of Swords. of June. And the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Seven of Swords is speaking about someone in the connection's desire to basically sneak away from accountability, like kind of just like cut losses and take what they can take and move, you know, quietly away. But there's a bit of shame. There's a bit of I think that this could mean that one of you has, you know, basically turned away from being accountable here, and the commitment and the heaviness, like, but feels guilty about it and shame about it. Feels like they're not being honest with themselves, or they're weak because of it. And then, you know, that's the Seven of Pentacles. There's you know, this feeling of walking away from, and you know, something that there's an investment that they're walking away from, like walking away from something that so much has been put into, and there's so much potential, and there's just this shame in abandoning that project. You know what I mean? Like this connection. So like it's possible that this person in the connection, the other person in connection, I would say, I don't think it's necessarily you. That's just me thinking that, but it could be. But it feels like someone walked away or has tried to sneak away. They may not be fully away, you know, from doing this, from jumping in and going all in, but yet they're doing it with a sense of regret and feeling like down on themselves about it, because they're feeling like weak, because they know that they're abandoning something that could be just so incredibly productive and good. And I get the feeling it won't be that easy to stay. Like there's just like, I keep hearing like a whole lot of different songs, and I just I get this feeling that there's this walking away and feeling really shitty about it, and knowing it's not the smartest decision, but for some reason there's something about the investment in this connection that is very that asks a lot. Like this, here we have this 10 of Wands. This person's walking away with all these wands, and then this person here in the 7 of Swords is walking away trying to carry all these swords, but they're dropping them along the way. They're just like, they're just kind of walking away in a shambled state, you know, like it's just not, it's not in both of these walking away cards, they're not like, it's not in like in strength, it's in like lack of, you know. I'd like to know more about the effect of this. Okay, so this is the 5 of Swords, and it's on the card you see mistakes and solutions, and 5 of Swords can speak of conflicts, and I think that this, like I said, I think this is feeling like a lot of like a conflicting choice, of really, that's causing or has caused a lot of conflict within probably both of you, to face, you know, the fact that this has happened or will happen, and there's a compromise here. There's someone, you know, in their darkness who has walked away, like really working on figuring out a way to you know, fix these things that feel broken, to address the way this person feels like really scattered, and they're trying to like organize their thoughts and feelings, and you know, like I said about this whole, in this hermit here, the compartmentalizing of the pieces and the parts. I feel that here as well with the walking away. Like there's this going and sorting it out in a really organized way. Like even though the hermit doesn't talk about like engine mechanics, but I did, it's that's here as well. It's like that vibe of someone just really organizing and mentally like compartmentalizing all the different layers and petals of this flower, you know. And there's the Five of Cups beside the Five of Swords. Yeah, it's led to such a feeling of loss and sadness and regret. And, you know, always with the Five of Cups, there's someone looking at what they've lost, and really there's still more waiting there as when they decide to like get out of their slump, so to speak, and claim those cups that are waiting. There are 2 cups waiting. 2 of Cups is the soul bond. This soul connection is in wait. If there's been loss, if there is going to be loss, there is, I'm sorry about my dogs. There is, they're not going anywhere. They're solid. They're full. They're waiting. They're standing. They're right there behind this person. This person is really focused on what has been, you know, this kind of energy, like what has been lost and spilled. And maybe that's you. Like maybe you are focusing on what has been lost and what is gone, and regrets and things like that. But you know, even you can have faith, as I said with the butterfly and the seed. You can have faith, and you can know that these 2 cups, there's one for each of you. They are there, and they will always be there in the spirit realm. This is a connection that, you know, the energy between you will exist regardless of you know, what goes on this plane, right? Okay. Let me speak to the inspiration you can find in this, aside from trust and faith. This is the 2 of Wands. And remember I told you I had the 2 of Wands vibe up here? There will be a decision. There will be coming to that place and that question about which way to go and what to do. And this, but more importantly, a knowingness and a decision to move toward this beautiful sunset, to move toward it. So therefore, you know, I'm seeing from this sort of loss that may have happened. And this that's what this feels like here. And I don't know if it's happened yet. I don't know about your situation, like the details right today, but like there, you know, if there has been or will be or is loss right now, this is speaking about that certainty. And like, you know, if this person has gone away to decide, you know, compartmentalize and make sense of it all and figure out what they're doing, there's a real feeling here of them moving toward what they know is what they want. And for you, I think that as far as like inspiration for you, that's absolutely like, this is all, it's a test. Like it's an affirmation of your own feelings. If you're still there waiting and ready to get in this boat and row, you know, like if you're still ready, if you're wanting that, and you'll be knowing it too, like knowing what you want and having the strength and the courage to move toward it. But I mean, really, that's inspiring for your life outside of this connection too. It's really just like knowing what you want and moving toward it. That could be the things that have been inspired. Like this is over the Magician, where I was speaking of your connectedness to source, and you're doing something with that, and your moon energy here of like accessing intuition and knowing when those moments of clarity come to hold them, and getting that better vision for dark times and darkness. And one more for inspiration in this connection. King of Wands. Yeah. Well, there's your King of Fire. And all in all, at the end of the day, this seems like a connection that would be inspiring you to really just go for everything that you want and just seize the day kind of vibe. Like to really just, you know, this king is pointing and inviting others to come. You're a leader. This is leader energy. This is Leo King energy. It's very passionate. It's very driven. And so something that should be awakened in you through this experience and inspired is, look what you have on the bottom, by the way. I'm just going to plop that down. That's the Ace of Wands. That's where we started. Yeah, this King of Wands. And there's your Two of Wands. Look at all this fire. My goodness. You're ending up, we started with fire and we're ending with fire. Knowing what you want, going for it, being passionate, being driven, you know, leading the way and inviting others to follow. And then this Ace of Wands, that's it. That's the magic stick. That's the, like, that is your power and you're wielding it in this one rod, you know, like you're just like, this is decisive action. This is you taking action. If you've lived in your head, if you were just a caterpillar, now you're going to be like a fiery butterfly, right? Like you're going to fall into your own destiny and your own path and with conviction, right? So that's what I get for you for inspiration from this connection. It's a really heavy one, and it feels like it like I said before we even got the tarot, like it's not without its challenges, like, and they feel painful, you know. Like I said, going from caterpillar to butterfly is a painful process. I don't know if I said it or thought it, but like I feel like I've heard something about like how they kind of turn to goo in there, but I don't know. I'm not sure how that creature transforms and makes wings, but I'm sure there's a documentary on it somewhere that I should watch, but I imagine it's painful. Or maybe they don't feel it. I don't know. For us, it seems like it would be pretty crazy, pretty trippy, which I definitely feel that this connection is a lot for both of you, mentally, emotionally. So stuff's going to come up and stuff's going to feel uncomfortable, and it just has to be you know, dealt with. And you know, you could say like, no, it doesn't have to be, but it does, because it's in the plan. It's in your pre-written plan with to meet this person and have these experiences and intensify who you are. That's very clear here. Two of Wands, like I mentioned early, King of Wands, Ace, back to Ace of Wands. Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much. That was incredible. Let me know how you feel. Bye. Hello to the second group. You chose the lepidolite and the Suit of Cups, or the element of water, with this Ace of Cups card. The oracles I drew for you are the Mask and Moon. Pardon me, sorry, my chair is loud. So here, just quickly about the connection. I'm getting a sense of a big sort of inspiration for you in this knowing of this person is helping you to really feel comfortable with who you are. Like, know that part of yourself that has been possibly suppressed or hidden, that's never really felt, that you've never really felt free to be or express. There should be maybe just emotions that come up for you that really reveal to you just this greater sense of who you are, and help you feel a readiness to embrace all the dark and light of that, There's a piece of this connection that is like drawing you out and drawing you into a fuller sense of being. I just heard, you don't have to be a woman, but I just heard Aretha Franklin, Natural Woman, I think it's called, before the day I met you, life was so unkind. You're the key to my peace of mind. Like I feel in this connection, based on what I'm getting here energetically, that there's something that's been inspired in you to just really look at who you really are. This is a very self oriented energy. So there may or may not be a reflection within this connection. I feel like there probably is, I would say, for most. Just this idea of really seeing yourself and this other person and being drawn to them, and realizing that what you're drawn to in them is actually parts of yourself that you've yet to maybe express, possibly, and bring out into the world and into your life. There's just one more thing about, where you're putting your love, like where you put your intention and your attention, and whether or not that is in, in your whole truth. And there's undoubtedly a question of whether or not, your all of your love and passion has even begun to open up. If you picture a flower, I think even if you feel it has before, maybe many times, this is a connection that has probably just really made you feel more like in your skin, like in your real, connected to your own real self, like your own being, your own creature, your own what you are, your own this connection may be inspiring a sense of loyalty to that, to that part of yourself that you need to nurture and bring out. So a lot of self-love arriving from, what is brought up in this connection, in although it's with another person, and there can be different ways that this is happening. It just feels to me like there's something that you're seeing in yourself within this connection, and you're inspired to develop it and, really foster it and nurture it and bring it out and take care of it. Excuse me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get into tarot, and we're using Intuitive Night Goddess for you. to me about the inspiration through this connection for group 2 with this lepidolite in the water. All right. The Nymph of Cups. I guess that's a page. The Moon. You gotta love it, you know? You just got the moon again, which is water. Cups is water. You're already just... I don't know why I'm not really that surprised, but it's always fun. Knight of Wands. Strength. So, are these in? Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. So as I was saying, I believe that you are really diving deep within, and you're loving yourself in a more playful and gentle way than possibly other times before. It's like a really sweet way. It's like attentive to the little things about yourself that you're like, hey, you know what? I like this about myself. Like, I really like that. Like, maybe it wasn't always something I liked, or maybe it wasn't something that I thought other people would like, but like I've grown to love that about myself, you know? And like I said, this reflection, this feeling of there's definitely a self-reflection that has been inspired in this connection, but possibly in seeing yourself through, you know, what you see in this person, what you see in them, things about them that you like, really echoing, oh, hey, you know, I like that about myself too. Like, that's why we have that in common. That's why I'm drawn to this person. I'm drawn to this person because they're really just like, we're alike in these ways. And it has more to do, I think, with the ways you're similar than the ways you may be different. I feel that this is inspiring, you know, you really going into your depths and accessing your own intuition and just a sort of like clarity about, you know, maybe previously concealed beliefs, you know, like going back to that mask, like maybe something that before was hidden in yourself, like you're really going into this like understanding and clarity about, like, you know, what makes you tick, you know, and what it is about you that is special, what it is about you that has yet to really shine in its fullest, brightest way. Knight of Wands speaking to me about that determination and strength here as well, to really just embrace these parts of yourself and really bring them out and let them bloom, like let them blossom and really just love that part of yourself, maybe for the first time ever. So that is a beautiful inspiration to be receiving from any sort of like a connection or romantic involvement. Anybody that can inspire you to feel good about who you are, and you know, the little intricacies, you know, like the little things that make you special and unique and different, and the things that make you sweet, the things that make people who do like you, you know, like the things that you have not looked at before, things that you have not you know, either wanted to look at or even just noticed about yourself. Like maybe this person has pointed some of them out. Like maybe it's not only like realizing that you're seeing those things through their eyes, but they may have actually like said so. They may have told you the things about yourself that maybe no one else has told you before, that things that they've noticed that are very you know, these sweet little compliments and things that, you know, a little goes a long way kind of vibe, like you know, they get, you know how I'm so sorry about my problem in my throat. You know how if you've ever, oh, haven't we all, I think, you know, someone maybe in childhood or in youth, even, it doesn't even have to be bullying, but like someone would make a comment to you, and or me or anyone, and you and it's like an insult in a way, and you hold on to it forever, you know, like without giving you an example, personal example, I'll just say like something someone notices about you that kind of makes you feel shitty for like years and years and years and decades because you don't ever forget that thing that somebody pointed out about you that's wrong with you or flawed or whatever. But this is the opposite of that. This is like someone says something that they like about you that maybe no one else has said, or you've never really heard or thought about before, or you wanted to be recognized for before, and this is the first person who's really done that, and you really hold on to it. It really means a lot to you. It's like they like this thing about me, you know. It's very sweet, it's very complimentary and sweet. And it's really, these are the types of things in this connection, regardless of the status of the connection and whether it's still going or, you know, yet to come. These are the things about the connection that really give you a sense of empowerment to embrace those things and let them breathe and let them be. And let, you know, like, you know, if someone has told you, for just a little example, that they really like your smile, that's their favorite part, like it really has somehow like inspired you to smile more and like to like your own smile more. Maybe you didn't think it was that great, you know, like that's just an example, but that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this connection, inspiring you to really just embrace little things about yourself that you've been told or that you've noticed about yourself, and really just moving forward in a more of a confident way in embracing those parts of yourself and taking care of those and expressing them more. This is all going back to that mask. There's a lot of expressing what has been hidden or repressed, you know. Okay. More about the inspiration in this connection for number 2, lepidolite. There's 5 of Wands. Nymph of Swords, which I believe is another page. Reclamation. What's reclamation? Hold on. I want to be sure. Oh, that's interesting. I think I think this deck has changed it from the devil. Okay. Perfect. And freedom. Freedom. Is that a 7? Is that strength? Chariot? My goodness. I don't remember all the numbers. Hold on. Chariot. It is chariot. Excuse me. All right. Sorry about that. I forget that some of these decks do the switcheroo, and I don't remember all of the majors by number all the time, to be honest. Okay, so we have Five of Wands, Page of Swords, Devil, and Chariot. All right, so this connection, I think, may be inspiring you to be braver and more courageous and more confident, and also to be just more sort of curious and less modest about you know, your ideas and your wishes and the things that, you know, you may have thought were silly before, but like, you know, you're like, it's okay. It's okay to do anything, you know, do what you want to do and feel how you want to feel and be who you are. And like, I don't know if anybody has ever like made you feel bad for, you know, ideas that you've had that they didn't think were, you know, substantial or smart or interesting or whatever. Like, you're kind of, it feels like this connection may have been inspiring you to really like contend with that and to be like, you know what, anybody in the past who told me that I can't, you know, do this because of that or whatever, like you're kind of like standing up to that now. You're like, no, 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 that's not how, it's how I say, it's not how you say. Like, I can do what I want, it's my life. Like, there's a real vibe of this being your show and your life, and you sort of finally gaining the, you know, the balance and the strength to embrace these ideas and things about yourself that are different. And, you know, for Devil and Chariot to show up here, that's, you know, that's more of the same. Like this I like that they called this reclamation. Like, it's really just taking ownership of things about yourself that you maybe in the past just thought you weren't supposed to show or you weren't supposed to know or tell. And you know, for Chariot, like, yeah, there's this great sense of power that you're deriving in yourself now that you haven't felt before. This feels, and I believe there's a card in this deck called Awakening, but this feels like an awakening and a blooming. Like, I feel like a flower opening, and like this great deal of you know, just I see like this fountain just full of shining coins in the bottom, and it's like every single one of those coins was somebody's wish, and there's all this intentionality, and you go walk past it and not really think about that, but like there's a lot to it, and there's a lot to you, and like there, I think that maybe you felt like people have been sort of like passing you by and not noticing like all this like shiny beauty inside of you. I mean, I'm sorry about my weird analogies, but that's what I got. You know, I feel like this connection is inspiring you to really stand tall and be confident. I will venture farther to say that I think it may have even opened you up a bit sexually and physically, made you feel more comfortable about your body, I think. And a lot of that may be tied together to the things I said before about the compliments, like it may be physical stuff. I get a very sensual vibe from this energy and this grouping. Like, there's a real sensuality and softness and newness. And like I said, there was that Aretha Franklin, you make me feel like a natural woman. Like I said, you don't have to be a woman to have found this, but it has to do with like just feeling real good. You know, there's definitely a sexual and physical vibe in this one, like where you're like a comfort level and a confidence, right? and an interest in exploring that, I'll add. I don't know that this will be for everyone, but even you may even be feeling like exploring other things about sexuality that you hadn't before. That could be anything from, you know, that could be anything for you know, partners and preferences, or fetishes, or you know. Okay. Okay. Nine of Swords. Chance, I think, is Wheel of Fortune. And the Knight of Cups. And the Ace of Swords. Okay. So here I'm seeing, yeah, things that have really bothered you and maybe just kept you up at night, you know, like things that just haven't been sitting right previously in your life. I don't think, I mean, it could be in the relationship, but I'm not getting a real read on like the situation of the relationship or the status right now. What I'm really feeling is this idea of you in the past really just being kind of tormented by some things we were insecure about, and really this sort of, you know, this vibe of this connection feeling like good fortune and luck, like it's really brought a lot of good luck in. And you know, because this Knight of Cups is the romance. Like, I think someone has been very sweet to you and shown you clarity with this Ace of Swords, like shown you the truth about who you are, when you had like this idea that wasn't necessarily true. Like, for some reason, I think you were really down on yourself and really feeling like kind of hopeless about where you were headed or what was possible for you. However, you may, through this connection, be feeling inspired to, you know, really just have that awaken, you know, awaken that the beauty in you, awaken the sensuality in you, awaken possibilities, and your understanding of the truth and of the matter, and that it is relative, and that you have maybe held on to beliefs that, you know, about yourself that were not fair or right or accurate, you know, based on who knows what from your past. Like, there's deep shadowy wounded stuff in this. Like, I feel like there's stuff that you repressed, and this goes back to that mask and that moon in the beginning. Like, there's stuff that I think that was repressed and forced, you know, down inside of you, feelings that you had that weren't necessarily helping a lot, and they were probably causing you problems and making things a little difficult, maybe causing anxiety, maybe causing depression. And then, you know, maybe you have found or will find, this could be a connection that hasn't even happened, or finding, it could be happening right in this moment, are finding this connection that really just is gentle with you and makes you feel heard and seen in ways that you haven't before. And I find that, you know, for you, this should be inspiring you to feel more courageous in romance, regardless of what happens with this person, knowing that people do exist, and there are people who will appreciate you when maybe you thought there would never be. Maybe you were coming out of a breakup even, or just an abusive relationship at some point in your past may have torn you down a bit. So yeah, like I feel that this is a connection that you're asking about that has just really help to feed your your self image, you know, and your confidence and your just your sensuality. Okay. Four of Swords. So I think this connection has really, if there's been a pause, or if there is a pause, that would make sense. But I'm just gonna go with the vibe on the inspiration, that it's given you like this period of thoughtfulness and reflection, like the moon said, reflection, and this contemplation of, you know, everything that you thought and everything that you are. There's a feeling of it being a safe place to let your guards down and like sleep. Like, I just got the feeling like if you've never been able to like sleep well beside a person, or if you haven't slept well, which is interesting over this Nine of Swords, which is kind of a sleeplessness, I kind of get this feeling that this is a connection that has inspired you. Like, I think that there's a good feeling and a safe feeling, and it feels like you can just really rest some of the ideas that are more unpleasant, and just rest on everything, and relax and breathe again. Like, I can breathe again, and like there's just that feeling. For number 2, lepidolite or inspiration. The Star. Yep, this feels like a connection that's just really has given, or is giving, or will give you hope, and really help you feel connected to your own shine, connected to your own beauty, honestly. The things that make you one in a million, the things that make you unique and you, and gorgeous, you know, like in your own way to somebody, like knowing now that, you know, there's out there, not, you know, that there are more people, that this isn't just a one time thing. Like, you're kind of realizing, you're kind of like awakening the star in you, like you're like awakening this like this shining being, and you're ready to like, you know, express yourself, you know, to the world. That's really lovely. I mean, the star is inspiration in so many ways, like as far as like cards go. So like, I just feel like this has been inspiring for you in a deeply personal, much needed way, for in the way that you see yourself, your value, your worth, the way you see yourself projected out. Like, you had this other idea about the way people see you, and now you're like, oh, but you're able to see yourself the way, you know, in a better light of how people see you. It's not what you thought. It's not you I think your esteem had been low, and this has been, you know, a boost for you and made you feel good to be who you are, which is a beautiful thing. That's great. Awesome. Okay, that's the reading. How sweet. This is really sweet. I wouldn't expect anything much different from this group, really. I mean, when I just got chills. Like, I was looking at that lepidolite and the Ace of Cups card, and it's just very sweet. All right. See you next time. Hey, to the third group. You chose this celestite and the swords suit or air element. Pardon me. I can't drink enough water today. I just want to say, you know, from the start here, as a reader, I know that, you know, swords is about mental energy, it's air and clarity, and celestite, you know, being an air related crystal, is there's a lot of ethereal connectivity and like clarity, and yeah, it's very spiritual, right? Flame and mountain. Notice, I promise you, I drew these and I really didn't look at them until I laid them here. I really didn't look at them. And they both have these, you know, upward triangles reaching. And that is what they're about. The flame is very much about purpose and vitality, and you know, that spark of knowingness and clarity and connectedness. And like, there's just, with the flame, there's a very strong pull to go upward. So it's very spiritual. I mean, I'm almost always using candles in my readings, because it, to me, flames just flow in this magic way upward. And I don't know, like, I've just always, since I was a kid, and probably many of you, like, you just, there's this sense of spirituality and a flame. Like, it's just what it is. I love fire. Like, what are you gonna do? But you know, there's no flame without air, and it's a perfect interplay. And you can stoke a flame and fire with the proper air. And like, I realize I'm kind of rambling, but it's just one of those things, like, as someone who really is into elements, I just was really struck by this. And this feels like a big one. But I don't know what tarot holds, but I feel like there's a big one in here. And then the mountain, the same. It's the ascent, and it's that the mountain is aligned and reaching. You know, like, this is a mountain is anchored at the core of the earth, and yet reaching and surpassing, you know, everything. And these are the highest peaks on the planet, and they go from the very center to the outermost reaches of you know, into the air, like, as far as earth goes. And it's that alignment with spirit, from that grounded center, and that, you know, planted you know, beingness, and connecting to that spiritual essence. So I just feel there's quite a lot going on in this connection as far as inspiration goes. I feel big stuff. It feels like a big big lessons type of deal, you know, between you. And if it's that big for you, it's probably that big for them. Like, it just feels like a really significant player, you know, like someone who's bringing a real sense of purpose, and helping inspire in you. This connection is probably inspiring you, like a real spiritual well-being, a real attention to the health of spirituality, or even a focus on it for possibly the first time, or just a real sharp interest in developing your spirituality. That's just what I'm getting. I know that was a little all over the place. I'm going to get you tarot. I'm using the LINESTRIDER deck for this group. Three air sword celestite. I'll do one more shuffle. Okay. I'd like to receive some messages about the inspiration people in group 3 are getting from this connection. The celestite, the air, the swords, inspiration. 7 of Cups. Six of Cups. The World. Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Seven of Cups and Six of Cups, just bringing out so much dreamy energy and fondness and sweetness and goodness, and like this almost too good to be true feeling, and this like fantasy, and you know, this feels like a connection that allows you to really feel the full extent of your romance, you know, like to really expand, you know, your romantic side. You may feel inspired to write your dreams down, or make some dreams happen, or remember things that you've wanted before that you may have let go, like being reminded of things you love and things you enjoy, and good feelings, you know, and just there's a, oh my goodness, the World and the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, to me, like the World, the first thing I think when I see the World is I get this sense of everything. It's like this everything. It's very inclusive. And then there's this Ten of Pentacles, which is a very everything Pentacles. It's the family and the home and the like, just the getting it all and having it all and feeling very satisfied and content. So I feel in this connection may be inspiring you to, you know, make your way toward that sense of fulfillment and that sense of completion in the real world that you may have dreamt of. This may be inspiring you. I feel like this one is inspiring like a great deal of romance, like just whatever that means to you, whether it's, you know, creative expression, or just enjoying romantic things, whether it's just taking a walk and admiring like birds, bees, and flowers, or you know, sunshine, or like reading a book or watching a movie and just really falling in, like really falling in love, and all of the beauty of that is inspired when that happens. Like when you reach, like when we go back to that mountain and that flame card, when there's an alignment and a reaching, and it's just like this real genuine flow all through all 7 chakras and like and beyond, and your whole aura is just like a rainbow and just bright and shining. And like if you're, when you're feeling that good, you feel on top of the world, like you feel like you have it all, or you can have it all, or you can be, you know, all of this. So there's just a real sense of this connection bringing you inspiration around just achieving your dreams, going after your dreams, that things are possible. You're feeling very empowered. You're feeling romantically charged and probably creative and clear about ideas from that you've had in the past that you maybe weren't sure how to manifest, and now it's like making a lot more sense, like memories and dreams and fantasies and you know, this sort of realm of emotions in the head. Like that's how I feel about both of those cards, the 6 and 7 of Cups. Memories and dreams, like it's all like this. For the Cups suit, it's to me, it's where the heart and mind exist together, you know. And it's like the way the heart manifests in the mind, like in its truest form. It's your sweet memories and your wildest dreams. So I feel like you're really inspired to just go with all of the romantic inspiration. I just said inspired by the inspiration, but I think you know what I mean. Like just really inspired to go in and to fall and to trust and to believe that things are possible and that you can have it all and you can do anything and everything. What else is this connection inspiring? The celestite, the swords, 3, the hermit. That card, like, I don't know if you saw what just happened. I almost didn't take it. I made the call to take it. We'll get to it. Wheel of Fortune. King of Swords. Five of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. So it looks to me like within this connection, there may have been or may be times of deep inward reflection. Like it's almost back up to here, like the 7 and 6 of Cups, like really just going within, you know. And that is probably in your more private moments, or if you've had any kind of like pause or separation from each other, like this feeling of in your alone time, just really going in and really how do I say, like I just picture like going in and taking care of some matters in there, like some, like I want to say like cleaning house, like this feeling of just of you've got this like dark little cave, you know, that's your own, and it's like your man cave or your she shed, you know, or whatever the fuck. And like it's your little safe place, it's your little haven, it's your sanctuary, and it could be within you. But really in reality, it could be a place, it could be something that exists. Like it's this place where you go and you just really connect to your strength, and you really connect to your power. And it's where you realize that, you know, you have a destiny, and you have you're aligning with something bigger than yourself, and it feels good, and it makes you feel incredibly empowered. It makes you feel you know, capable of many, many things. And it's really shutting down these any previous feelings you may have had of lower self-worth or lower self-esteem issues that you may have had. So I guess what I'm saying is this connection inspires in your alone times away from this person something that you leave with. You leave an interaction with this person and you are alone with yourself again, and you're like really going into your soul, and you're really feeling your connectedness. You're really feeling, you know, your place in the universe, and your own sort of destiny and timing. There's a certain gratitude and appreciation for divine timing, and there's just a lot of, actually, you know, here just a lot of appreciation for for divine intervention as it is, like just understanding that, like, there are bigger guiding forces. And I think that also it's possible with you that, you know, in the past you may have been a little more skeptical about, you know, who had the reins. Like, you know, is it all, you know, like almost kind of cold to the idea that things are driven by higher forces and higher creative forces and source, you know, like this, and that you may feel now that before, this has an awakened vibe, like an awakening vibe. Like you may feel that the way you felt before, that things had to make a lot of sense and be very, very cut and dry, and be very rational. You may see now that left you little room to expand what your understanding of your own worth was, and what your understanding of yourself was. And now with the inspiration of this connection, you're able to feel like a more full, a more rounded, a more vibrant sense of being and contribution to all that is, knowing that your worth is greater than you ever realized. It's like a very reaching and climbing feeling, you know, like whereas maybe you felt like before there was a ceiling and there was a top, and that was where you get, and everything's that's it. But so it's almost, yeah, like this gives me like an awakening vibe, like this connection may have inspired spirituality, and we got that before, so it's not really surprising. And I'm sorry I'm stumbling over the words, because this is big stuff. Like, this is really big. Some of these readings are bigger than others, and this is one of the big ones. This is the type of connection that's bigger. And I mean, you have the flame and the mountain, and we talked about this before the tarot even came out. There's a reaching now. There's a desire to ascend, and even if it was there before, it feels really heightened and exaggerated, or is that the word I want to use? I don't know about it. That enhanced now, but through this, I'm getting the sense that there's a possibility that this is more, even just more than you ever imagined. Your connectedness and your sense of being a part of the bigger, you know, cosmos is more than you ever imagined it would be. Maybe even taking you back to ideas you had, you know, you may be even remembering thoughts you had when you were a really innocent and pure child, you know, like when you were, I always feel that when we're very, very young, we are in our more pure forms and in our more connected states. And then a lot of things happen in life that mold us and shift us and change us, because we have to acclimate and adjust and adapt and survive. And we also have environmental influence and societal influence and all of that. But you may be feeling connected to these more youthful ideas you once had glimpses of, like things you may not have thought about in a really long time that are actually deeply spiritual concepts. Okay. Can I get more about the inspiration of this, from this connection for 3, celestite, the Fool? Yeah. Justice. You have a ton of majors. It's amazing to me. When the connection feels like a lot is going on with the person, and if this connection appears to be inspiring quite massive changes and transformation and transition for you, because a lot of majors will show up. You've got the World, Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Fool, Justice. All right. So we have the Fool and Justice, and we're talking about inspiration for 3, celestite, 8 of Pentacles, and 2 of Cups. Goodness. Yeah. So as I just said, this feels like a really significant connection. Significant in that it is teaching you and opening you to really huge connectedness and sense of self and sense of purpose and meaning and just greater, the World and 10 of Pentacles here. This, I'm going to just say, this could be something that lasts your life, because it's so big. And if you're both feeling this, it's possible that only you are really taking away the bulk of this, and that it is important to them, but we're all on our own paths, and you must know that. But this speaks of the journey toward what is right for you and what is the truth for you, and clarity and understanding and knowledge. The 8 of Pentacles is that desire to understand. It's that craving, this deep craving in you to learn more and grow, and to, it just really falls in line with everything that we've been talking about, or I've been talking about. But anyway, 2 of Cups. Look at this. I love this 2 of Cups card because I love cats. But anyway, how sweet is that? So the 2 of Cups is a deep, a deep soul bond and a deep connection and a true love, and based on everything that I'm seeing here, it's very intense, and it feels very much like it is possible that this is one of your greatest loves, or possibly the greatest love, or the one, but it just, I'm not really looking into them or any of that, but I could see how you might think that, or feel that. And so, yeah, this connection is inspiring you to really just, be on this journey toward truth and light and right and good, and to learn, and to just really deepen your spiritual concepts and grasp and understanding, and to really embrace the very real love, what real love is, and what unconditional true soul love is, and I guess I feel like I should mention, you can you can love someone that way and not be with them, you know, by whoever's choice or circumstance. There are a lot of things can happen. I mean, anything from, you know, one person just not wanting to do it to death. Like, there's so many things that can take up, you know, take a person away from another person, or make it so that it doesn't work in this lifetime or whatever. But the important thing is that this is working. It looks pretty good, I'll say, but it's definitely working in multitudes to teach you and give you and inspire you to just really, really go there, like really go there, deeper than you've ever gone, higher than you've ever gone. And I just heard Ain't No Mountain High Enough to Keep Me From Getting to You, you know that song? And I just feel like you're inspired so much by this connection to just really fulfill your purpose and to align with your own deep sense of being and wellness and good. I'm not sure I have enough words to explain how big this feels. Like, I have like this kind of like breathless feeling in my chest. Like it's like it's a little breathtaking, this connection and this inspiration. The sun, very positive, radiant joy, very optimistic outlook. I mean, is warm and good. This is wild. You have, let's see, out of 13 cards, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More than half are majors right now. But anyway, inspiration, you're inspired to live in positivity. There's, like I said about this flame card, there's vitality. There's an awakening of your spirit in this. What else is inspired by this connection for 3, the celestite? The Magician. As if you didn't have enough majors. Anything is possible. You are the creator here for a spell. The Magician. My goodness, the Sun and the Magician to end on here. You've got all kinds of you've gained access to so much power through the spiritual connectedness and sense of being and the vital essence of this connection. It's inspired you beyond anything you imagined before. It's inspired you to go deep and high. Like I said, it's really a beautiful thing. I hope you're feeling all of that. Like I said, this isn't like a relationship outcome type of reading, but this is a really positive experience for me as a reader to see all of this. And I don't know, whatever's going on with you, if whatever's going on in your connection, at the core, it is a big and beautiful thing. And I think there's no way it could be this big for you and not for them. So I hope that means something if you're going through anything. But it looks so nourishing and just a lot of fulfillment and a lot of hope and a lot of power here. A lot of power, a lot of star quality. And when I say that, I mean like creation energy. Like the sun is a star, you know what I mean? Because there's a star card and it's looked at as one thing. And it's funny how, never mind, I'm not gonna get into astronomy, but like ultimately the sun is a star, and we tend to, because the sun is our solar system's God, essentially, we tend to put other stars as like these little things, you know, but there are a lot of stars as big as the sun that we know as the sun, but the sun is our home. The sun is our home, our God, our center, you know. And I'm just getting a crazy good energy off of your connection. Okay, I'm gonna go. But thank you. Let me know anything. Talk to me. Bye. Hello to group 4. I would like to first say that you have 2 of the Untamed Elemental cards, whereas the other groups only have 1. It's a long story. You have 2. And they both feel right to me. This is heavy. What a day. What a bunch of readings. How is it that we are all having these heavy connections and these moving connections collectively, I believe. When I watch other readings, I'm just blown away by the idea that we can all be going through the same things. But wow, this is something. So you chose the hematoid quartz. You chose the Ace of Coins, or the Suit of Pentacles, or Earth element. You have the Vow as your archetype card. And you have Eagle and Snake. Like I said, I'm using OPHIDIA ROSA for your tarot reading. And we haven't even gotten into that, but wowza at this. Where to begin? Inspiration from this connection for you. This is a connection at its core, at its essence, is extremely powerful, a very real and secure bond throughout however much ethereal space and time, lifetimes, I don't know. This is crazy. I just want to say, you know, there's a lot of energy here around purpose and patience. And so that said, this could be, like many of the heavy relationships, a trying, more challenging one at times. But at the same time, it feels like there's been a good amount of exposure. You know what I mean? Like, this is not light. This is something that has happened, and indeed in real life. And this is a person who you felt it with. You felt everything you wanted to feel with, and you may have felt this was the one. It feels like those sorts of words were exchanged. If you may have felt, you may have been inspired to speak from the bottom of your heart or from your soul, that you know that you feel just love and commitment and devotion. You know, there's, with this card comes the idea that making a promise with someone, having a soulmate bond with someone, if you will, being destined to find one another, to be in union together, at least energetically, is something that it doesn't just go away. It's never unspoken. It's never, you can't take it back. The things that have been proclaimed, those, once those feelings existed and were real and professed, they're there. You cannot erase, you can't go back and take it back, and I don't think you would. There's a lot of inspiration within this connection around believing that, believe in something higher, believing in all things being possible, and that there is a deeper purpose and meaning in all the things that happen. There's an allowance here, an inspiration to allow things to have the time they need to heal, to have the space they need to grow, and to be able to find each other in whichever form each comes, and goes. Like to always sort of maintain that connection and maintain that very, very divine spiritual union. This is heavy and feels like I'm having a difficult time conveying it, because eagle and snake are huge symbols to me in the first place. We're talking about perspective and divinity. Like, this is a spiritually guided sort of connection, and the snake having so much to do with also the unfurling of destiny, like the uncoiling of destiny, and the energy of the life force rising, and the taking root down in the earth, and coming out for the sun, and then vow, my goodness. Okay, this is just a really inspired connection, and an inspiring connection, it feels. So for you, we'll get into the tarot to see, like, in what ways this connection has been inspiring you. But I'm gonna need to eat some CBD when this is over. All right. I cannot shake the feeling of like Kundalini rising. Every time I try to say that on camera, I mess it up. I don't know if it's because there's a snake on the back of this card and there's a snake in the oracle, but there's like this feeling of life force having been unlocked, like it's unlocked. It's unlocked now, and you can't put it back. It's like the genie has escaped the bottle. You know what I mean? Your wish has come true, and here it is. Now what are you gonna do, right? Okay. Group 4, hematoid quartz, pentacles, earth. What is inspiring? Tell me about the inspiration for the people in group 4 from the connection. Ace of Cups. Sorry. I know my reactions probably don't help. High Priestess. Knight of Cups. Nine of Swords. Okay. All right. Told you it was heavy. Told you it was something. All right. Ace of Cups, High Priestess, Knight of Cups, Nine of Swords. Yeah, not without its anxieties. not without its turmoil. That's how it goes, right? Like these big heavy ones just so often for some reason, you know, just really drag us to the depths. Like I realize this is a 9 of Swords card, but I just got like such a Scorpio feeling. It's just so deep and so just like consuming, you know. But anyway, Ace of Cups, so much love, so much passion, so much intention to feel, yet sometimes that doesn't always translate in real life quite as like in the movies, you know, or at least so many of the movies. The High Priestess, big time intuition, big time guidance, power. You know, this is someone who has made you just really kind of like look in awe at life and at the connection and at yourself. This person has probably brought out your best. This person has probably made you really just want to know more about everything and to feel deeper, to feel more deeply, and yet that can be met with resistance, right? You know, because going deep can be scary. It's dark and the elements change. You know, if you think about like going into deep space or going in deep sea or something like that, we're talking about you know, where's your oxygen supply, and trusting that that's going to be there, and who knows. It's really scary. And then the Knight of Cups is the romantic, the knight in shining armor, like someone really showing up out of your dreams, and you know, a lot of admission between you. Like I think I said before, like this really feels like the vow to me. Like this is that admission of feeling, of you know, of depth of feeling and emotion for each other. So as far as like what this connection is inspiring within you, it seems to me it's inspiring love, quite simply, and depth, and fear. Inspiring like what comes with that, you know, like this need to go deep, and this power, this overpowering presence of what real love can do. Like maybe you felt love before, but never like this kind of vibe. This may have made you feel inspired in your expression. If you have ways, especially creative with the Knight of Cups, that you express romantic feelings and love, it could be song, you know, poetry, art, any building someone something. Like, look, I made you a rocking chair, you know. I don't know, I'm just saying, like there's a lot of creative potential and a lot of passionate energy here. And like I said, this Nine of Swords, it is not without fear. It is not without worry and concern. So, you know, that's not really saying what's going on in your relationship. It's just saying that it makes perfect sense that if you have been feeling all of this, the depth and the passion and the romance and all, you know, everything being everything you could ever expect and dream and want more, that is triggering in itself. Like anybody would feel that way. Most people, I can't say anybody, but most people I've ever known have some kind of damage inside that they have to like contend with, you know, like we all get this too good to be true vibe sometimes, you know, when something really nice happens, don't we? I don't know. Maybe some people don't. Maybe I'm just ultimate damaged. I don't know. I just think that it's worth me saying, and it's showing up here for a reason. Maybe you are not with this person right now, or you've been through time apart, or it's just been very challenging. Either way, I feel it's worth you knowing that all of this inspiration easily, understandably, would be without would not be without some sort of resurfacing of pain and wounding and confusion and sadness, right? Just this tragedy. It's like a romantic tragedy vibe. That's not funny. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at myself out of nervousness. I do feel nervous. I do feel nervous. It's jittery, it's love, and it's fear. Talk to me more about what this connection is inspiring for the people of Group 4, Hematoid Quartz. We have a 10 of Pentacles. King of Swords. Five of Cups. Judgment. Okay. 10 of Pentacles, bringing me back to the vow. This feels like what you would want in a marriage, if you believe in marriage. You know, I know for some that's a religious thing, for some that's a legal thing, but really it's the vow, you know. That's the union, however you call your idea of a union. And even if you're not monogamous or whatever, like certainly you probably feel that some bonds cannot be broken. And that's what this vibe is. You have an inspired, by this connection, an inspired draw toward union, you know, with this person. You have an inspiration to be family with them, to have that sense of home and family, to have a feeling of completion, and maybe you're having that feeling and maybe you haven't had it before, or maybe you know, maybe there's a 5 of Cups beneath it, which speaks about like loss and sadness. So maybe things haven't been ideal in your past, and you're now inspired to have more than you ever really could have hoped for. But also this could mean that again, like there could be complications and setbacks, but that ultimately you're inspired to find that fulfillment now that you've had a glimpse of what it is. That home is really the feeling that I get from this 10 of Pentacles. Like I said, that union and that vow that can't be broken. It's like you found it now and it exists, and it, even no matter how it exists inside of you, there's this home, and you can feel homesick, you know, when you're not with if you're not with this person, or when you're not with this person. If you're apart, if you're severed, if you're separated, it can bring about like this homesick feeling because you know where you belong. The King of Swords is that clarity, that knowing where you belong, that knowing what the home is now, knowing what the union looks like now, you know, in your mind. Like everything that you, like I said, would have imagined or wanted has been shown to you now. And here we have judgment, speaking of, you know, that revelation, that knowingness, and that decision of, you know, that it's in a way, in many ways, out of your own hands. Like it just is what it is, and it's been shown to you, and now you are having to navigate real life knowing, you know, who your person is, at least on a spiritual plane. So yeah, so you're, you know, in over here we're talking about all this love and romance and passion inspiration, and here we have that real earthy, grounded home inspiration to feel what that is, and to have that, and know that regardless of, you know, what happens in the 3D, that home exists now. You can't take it away when the two of you have created it together. And you know, the King of Swords, that knowingness, the judgment, that knowingness, that clarity, that revelation, that this is what that is. But again, you know, we've got like this beautiful trio here with this Nine of Swords popping up, and here we have, you know, speaking of like fear and worry and concern, and here we have this pretty beautiful trio, and again showing up here, this Five of Cups, this like sadness and loss, you know. So there's definitely in this group, which I think I said, it's very understandable, something this heavy, something this intense. What is it, just gonna come easy and you're gonna ride off in the sunset and be happily ever after? Who does that? I told you, it's not a movie. It's not a movie. It's real life, and life is complicated. This is 2022. It's way more complicated than it was, you know, 70 years ago, that's for sure. Not to mention, you know, not that we want to be there, because people were just suppressing all kinds of things, especially women, but you know, this is a multi-layered, complicated time that we're living in. We have like 1,000 things coming at us every day, like a million, you know, like coming at our way, and like we have all these possibilities. And you know, just for example, God, why do I go off on these? You know, like when I was younger and I was graduating from high school, if you wanted to look at colleges, we didn't have the internet. Like it was like, I don't know, maybe there was the internet, but I didn't have it. I don't know anybody who had it. I don't know when the internet started, but like, you know, you had to like call the college and ask them to send you a catalog, you know? And, sorry. And then, oops, I gotta turn off my many alarms. Okay. You know, you would just have to go within the pages of this catalog and fantasize about these places that existed in the way they wanted to show them to you, and it was all just in like 20 pages or less, you know. And then now the internet is at your fingertips, and you can go all over the world, and you can go anywhere you want to go and see what they want to show you, and they can show you so much more, but your options are more wide open. It's very overwhelming. There's a lot coming at you. So it makes a ton of sense that even when you are shown something so basic, so rooted, so natural and good and right and for you, that you would have the natural inclination in this day and age, and in this time, and in these complicated lives that we live, to question it, to have a problem with commitment. Like that could be anybody, anywhere, but I don't know where this is, why. Anyway, sorry. More about the inspiration from this connection for hematoid quartz. And we have the Four of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles. And the Hermit, Virgo energy, showing up in the Pentacles reading. And the World. Okay. To speak to inspiration from this connection for you. You may feel inspired to really just have it all and kind of like there's a squandering feeling a little bit. Like there's Four of Pentacles is that guarded attachment, you know, that's sort of like it's a little bit greedy. Like you may struggle with the feelings of sharing your time, sharing your energy, sharing your life, sharing your stuff. You may have that feeling in general in life, but this is supposed to be telling me, this is whatever, this is telling me this is a connection that may be showing you that and inspiring you to maybe, you know, take a look at how you handle your business and how you handle your stuff and how you handle your life and your necessities and your home and your body and your possessions and your work, you know, like how you're managing all of your life and where you know, whether or not you have walls up and whether or not you're letting people in and whether or not you're there's any flexibility at all, you know. This Hermit, like I said, the Virgo energy is really that inspiration to go in and look at that. Look at how you, what you consider to be having it all and the way you are attached to that idea and those preconceived beliefs or, you know, that you brought into this connection, the ideas that you brought in and that you held and you hold and the ways in which they make you inflexible is what I get. And then the world, you know, is this inspiration within this connection to not only look at all of that, but to expand yourself, to expand beyond these ideas that you had of what you really saw yourself, you know. Here we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is the happy home, family, having it all kind of thing. And the King of Pentacles is very much, you know, the head of that household in a way. Depends on what you think the head is. Queens are heads too. But whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter. Gender stuff doesn't matter. It's just that it's that sort of like the person who's got it all, and it's just this idea of what it all is and how tightly you're holding on to that belief and those ideas. And this is the inspiration to look at it and reevaluate it and be kind of picky about like pick it apart and assess it. And then, you know, this is the world saying expand it, you know, like bring it to pieces and you know, maybe buy another set and put it all back together. Like maybe add some ideas to the ideas that you've had around you know, building and what it is like to build a life and to build a home and to build a family and to build a relationship. All of those ideas that you've had, you're maybe now being inspired by the greatness of this connection to build on that. Like it's not, the top is not where you thought the top was. Now it's not there at all. And like accepting that and budging on that, it can be a challenge, but you can do it. Inspiration for 4, hematoid quartz, earth. And we have the Page of Swords. And I think this is just really talking about, why do I care how straight the cards are? This is really talking about you being inspired to follow that curiosity, to just, it's just like imagine like a thread, you know, like there's just a little thread and you just need to follow it in and go in, and don't worry. You can get back out if you need to, but like it's just that like it's that like urge to go in. It's that call to come in, you know, and you have this inspiration and this connection to to find light and to find purpose and to find meaning and to be, you know, use your head, but to be brave and to be smart and to be cool and to be intentional, you know. So you're being inspired to just this may be a little more of a cautious movement than the night would have been, but it's definitely an offering, and it's definitely an inspiration for you to consider what it is you know, where it is you want to arrive, and like how to get there, and just your approach. Like really you're being inspired to sort of analyze your approach and, you know, see if it's working for you, see see if it's helping you to, you know, access any, you know, ability you have to change for the better, that would make better things happen in your life, or to be able to access a different perspective. I think that's big for you, because there is a stubborn quality to this earthy reading, in that, you know, it's such a, it feels, at the risk of slamming my own sign, like it feels fixed, like Taurus, you know, in a way. Even though this is Hermit Virgo, like there's this vibe of like just being kind of set in your ways and your approach, and there's this inspiration in this connection to maybe be a little more flexible for the things that really matter, and you yourself, your growth, your unfurling, your own Kundalini rising, your own higher perspective, your own connectedness to source and light. All of that is on the line, so to speak, you know. So it's just a matter of you loosening up, and if you have that ability through the vision that this connection inspires, then that's a really fantastic, beautiful thing. This is the kind of growth and personal growth, and that builds this Ten of Pentacles. It builds this more lasting, something real, you know, like it's something that's been well considered and compromised for, you know. One more for how this connection is inspiring for 4. And we have the 3 of Wands. That is, you are inspired to look at the bigger picture, to look at the future, to plan ahead, to cast your spell and manifest, you know. 3 of Wands is manifestation energy, and it's just really like bringing your own intentions into being, like crafting that spell and crafting that sturdy, you know. This one has like a three wands in a kind of a teepee frame or structure, but yeah, it's the same idea. So it's a three legs can be, if they're evenly distributed, can be a very secure and firm, unshakable base and foundation. So like, you know, the next would be 4 of Wands, which is like the solid base and foundation. So this is like the inspiration to really like be on the way to that, the inspiration to look ahead and plan ahead and look into the future and see the bigger picture, you know, see the the everything laid out before you, and understand like the ways that things need to be built. There's a lot of building in this reading. There's a lot of that's interesting. There's a lot of design and intentionality and conscious building happening here. It seems like a real battle between the ego and the spirit for you. So this connection should be inspiring you to be a little more flexible on the ego side of things, and be a little more allowing for your spirit to bloom and grow and be a part of the decisions that you make. Let your spirit you're inspired to have your essence and your soul kind of come through a little bit more than just like what your persona and your ego has been trying to do and protect you from. And it's the ego that's bringing up this Nine of Swords type stuff. So that's not your spirit and your soul. You're not like a ghost in chains, like that is ego stuff. That is life, real life 3D world problems. We talk about first world problems. That's 3D real life world problems right there, like in your mind, but we're talking about spirit and giving spirit a little more room to be in you and live through you. And I think that that's what this connection is inspiring you to see and do. And that's beautiful. That's fantastic. What a great earthy reading. It felt earth through and through. I'll say I'm hearing like sludgy doom music in this one. If you know what that is. So okay. Oh, I forgot I had some potions up here. This one really came to mind here for this. All right, that is all I have for you, and I would love to hear any feedback. Please do engage with me if you would like, and hopefully I will see you again. Thanks so very much.